some great ingredients and making sustainably raised ingredients available to everybody, which I think is a really important mission, and that's rewarding.
If you're like other Americans, you love to eat Chipotle, but you hate all those terrible bloodstains in your underwear.
A health alert now. Chipotle, the popular Mexican restaurant, taking drastic action, closing 43 restaurants in 2 states.
In the last half of 2015, around 500 people in states ranging from California to Massachusetts had 2 things in common. They all ate at Chipotle, and they all had severe diarrhea.
The excruciating pain in my abdomen was something I've never experienced.
Every year, there are hundreds of food poisoning outbreaks in the U.S., but it's unusual for one company to see 6 outbreaks from 3 different germs in just 6 months.
Strain has been identified as E. coli 026. This strain is less dangerous than others, such as the 0157H7 strain that killed 4 children in the 1990s. Health officials suspect the latest outbreak in Chipotle restaurants came from contaminated fresh produce, but are still trying to find its source.
Types of E. coli that make humans sick live in the intestines of cattle, so people can often get infected from undercooked beef. But fruits and vegetables exposed to contaminated water or manure can also transmit the bacteria. So here's what's a little unnerving for Chipotle customers.
The CEO said that they have tested every single one of the 64 ingredients that Chipotle uses, and they still can't find the problem.
Unfortunately, in multi-state cases, the CDC can identify the specific source of food poisoning only about half the time. And it's particularly challenging with the type of food that Chipotle serves.
Almost everything that is in a burrito is in a taco, is in a taco bowl, and so it's hard to parse out and say, oh, it was the cilantro, oh, it was the lettuce.
A really tough time, but first I have to say I'm sorry for the people who got sick. They're having a tough time, and I feel terrible about that, and we're doing a lot to rectify this and to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
There can be a trade-off between safe food and fresh food, as Chipotle seems to be acknowledging. Instead of shredding cheese and chopping tomatoes, lettuce, and cilantro inside the restaurants, they'll now be processed and packaged off-site in centralized kitchens. Chipotle stock has been dropping, but it's worth remembering that other chains have weathered much worse. In 1993, E. coli from undercooked hamburgers at Jack in the Box sickened 700 people and killed 4 children.
They brought in a vice president in charge of food safety who had carte blanche to, turn the company around from a food safety perspective. I think that's something that Chipotle really needs to think pretty hard about doing.
The safety and quality of our ingredients, to put in place practices that will not enable this to happen again. Practices that are so far above industry norms today, we will be the safest place to eat. And that is our commitment. Much like Food with Integrity, to bring the very best ingredients to fast food, we're now saying we have practices that will make it the safest place to eat. Great strides in sourcing better quality food, meats without antibiotics or growth hormones, more organics, more local and sustainably raised foods. This was a very unfortunate incident, and I'm deeply sorry this happened, but the procedures we're putting in place today are so above industry norms that we are going to be the safest place to eat.